All right, bro. So, an easy way to help combat somebody grabbing onto the back of your neck and pulling you forward takes core strength, lower body strength, of course. That's why I always do good mornings and side raises, side bends, things like that to keep my lower core really strong, keep the muscles nice and in shape. Breathing a little heavy, just got done working out. Um, but really, what you want to do, I'll kind of physically show. I don't have somebody to do this with, but whenever you know that they've gotten over your head or they're about to get over your head, you want to get your hips as close to their hips as possible, and you don't want to surrender that position, because what they want to do is they want to step back away from you, create separation so that you have room to bend forward. By getting your hips close to their hips and closing that distance, it gets rid of their ability to make that space for you to bend forward. All they're going to do is pull your head into their shoulder or chest, or pull you face to face. They're not going to be able to pull you down. When you do this, keep your base really wide, because at that point they can then throw you side to side, because if you get a skinny base while you're pushing your hips forward, they realize they can't pull you back. They can't pull your face to the ground. The next move is to turn you and twist you. I'll show it from their point of view a little bit too, what I'm talking about. But yeah, hip placement is everything. Getting out of it, if they get a good lock on you, at that point you really want to try and survive until you can either get an underhook under their arm and kind of get them, work that arm up to where you can finally slide your head loose. Try and get your back to the list if you can, or push them hard enough into the list to loosen their grip. At that point, you're really struggling to survive. You're already in a bad situation. You want to make it to where you don't get pulled forward, but you also don't want to let them trap you against the list with your ass in the wind. So you want to do everything you can to get an arm loose, even if you got to hold your axe in one hand and start punching them in the armpit with the other to try and get them to soften their grip, because you got to do something to get your head out. A lot of times I'll stick with it until I can get a moment to create a little bit of separation, whether that be pushing up under the arm or stepping a foot into trying to fake a trip, doing something to distract them to where I can create that little bit of space to slide back out. I'll try and find a couple videos of us in training where you can see where I push my hips into somebody doing that to me till I can get myself free. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to do it on air, but I'll show you real quick from both points of view. I'll start kind of basic. What you want to see when they come up over the top of your head, you're going to be probably trapped here, or you're already going to be one-handed and you're already going to be wrapped around here. So don't worry about pushing them away, because that's what they want. Once they're already behind your head, do not push them away, because as soon as you do this, they're already stepping back. That gives them more momentum to yank you down. So as soon as they go behind your head and you know they're there, and you do this and you try to push them, you're already giving them more leverage to pull you here. So once you know they've gotten behind your head, or you feel that they've made that turn over the crown of your helmet, get your feet wide and your hips close. Get right up underneath them. And if you're here with your axe up to their chest, that's fine. Probably best, whatever side the head's on, keep holding on to that. Use your free hand, get up underneath their armpit, hold them tight, or get around their waist and hold them tight, and then don't let them pull away from you. Keep them tight. That'll keep them from being able to pull you forward, because at this point, that's their main move, is to pull you forward. But if you've got your hips on them, your hips to their hips, there's no way for you to pull forward, because your head's going to hit head to head or head to shoulder with them. There's no way for them to bend you. Then they're pulling you against themselves. They're wasting energy. So what you want to do is get that arm underneath and try to cause some type of interruption underneath that armpit, whether it's punching in the armpit, pushing up on the elbow, somewhere to create a little bit of space as you're moving with them. And then finally, you're going to create that space and be able to slip out, and you're free. You can collect your axe or do whatever you got to do to get free again. The other part is the reason I say keep a wide base is because once you get those hips close, if you're here, their next move, if they realize they're not going to pull you forward, their next move in that situation, if I couldn't get somebody forward, I'm trying to turn them here, I'm trying to turn them here. That way I can get them off balance maybe jerk them this way, come back across that way, or just jerk them that way if I can get them to the ground that way. So you want to make sure that as you get close, you get low and wide. If you're wide and you're close, they can't pull you forward. When they try to jerk you side to side, your stance is wide. Just like if you were in a linebacker position, coach comes by and shoves you on the shoulder and he can't move you to keep a wide base. Same concept, keep your wide base so when they do start jerking side to side, you've got a good base. They can't move you side to side. Again, push with their jerk. Or if they jerk you this way, lift with their jerk so that you can get free. It'll create the space on their own. Hopefully that's clear what I'm talking about. But yeah, hips close and stance wide. Use a free hand to hit under the armpit or push under the elbow to create space. Once they start going side to side, if they want to jerk you to your left, push them to their left. If they want to jerk you to their right, push them to the right. Use their momentum against them. And if you feel like you're not going to get out, all they're trying to do is drag you to the list, like, just trying to get it to where somebody can come in and strike you in the back, hook that axe around their lower back, pull them real close, and then you'll have the advantage to turn them and get them to the list. Pull them back, get them to the list, and now you're safe. Their back's to the field. That's really a case of emergency if you realize that he's not letting go, he's not trying to take you down, he's just trying to get you struck in the back. Reverse it on him. Axe behind the lower back, squeeze the life out of him, and then you can turn him and get him to the list. Little bit of a long video, but hopefully what I'm explaining makes sense. I'll send you a couple of videos. You can at least see a little bit what I'm talking about. There's one where, if I still have it, the one where Will and Arlen had me 2-on-1. I was able to slide out of Arlen's grip, doing the same thing. I kept my hips close until he made a little bit of a mistake, and I was able to slide out. And then the last time me and you fought at Combat Nation, I didn't really get free because they stopped the fight, but I was able to keep my hips close, and that's the only reason you didn't throw me down on my face, because you had me in a bad situation. But I tried to keep an arm around you, but just on hips and keeping my feet wide, I was able to stay up. If I didn't do that, I was eating dirt easy. Those videos should help. Sorry, this video is 7 minutes long, but hopefully it helps.